Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden and Joining me here is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
I'm all right.
All right, it's a great time. We're on the march to WrestleMania. The weather's getting better. We got March Madness, baseball starting up, basketball's coming down to the stretch. We'll get to the playoffs soon, so it's just a great time right now for all of us. So let's start the show with the collar and elbow question of the week. As we're recording this, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, so I want to know, who is on your Irish wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Well, there's 4 right answers.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's Finn Balor, Becky Lynch, Fit Finlay, and Sheamus.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had.
I knew when you first came up, I'm like, this is kind of a weak collar and elbow. There's not going to be any debate about it. There's 4 guys.
Fair. I just couldn't think of anything else. This is what I came up with. Okay, so who would be? What would be the ranking? What's 1 through 4? What's the ranking then? I think Becky's number 1.
Finn is 1.
Finn's number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Becky's 2. Finlay's 3. No. Yeah, Finlay's 3. Sheamus is 4.
I think I would go Becky 1, Finn 2, Sheamus 3, Finlay 4.
Yeah, but none of them are wrestling about Finlay. So
I guess that's true. So Finlay gets that bump. I guess that's true. That makes sense. But so I'm great for all of them. On to our outside the ring news then. Kind of a short collar and elbow. GCW and FSW to host WWE ID championship match or tournament matches during WrestleMania week. So does the WWE ID championship tournament make your WrestleMania week watch list?
probably, at least the GCW one, because the idea of Big Gay Brunch and George and Ellis Spring Break and the Clusterfuck and Bloodsport being in the same little package as the WWE show relating to WWE at all is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I watched at least a bit of it because I'm assuming it's going to be Marcus Mathers, Zara Zakir. So it's not like a anything too out of the ordinary.
I don't know if the whole tournament's going to happen during WrestleMania weekend. I think it's just the start of the tournament.
No, because it's already started, technically.
Oh, has it already started?
I feel like it has at Maple Leaf Pro.
I know Maple Leaf Pro was doing tournaments for their own championships. I don't know if they had I know they had ID wrestlers there, but I don't think they had ID championship matches or tournament matches.
I gotta look. Oh yeah, no, I was wrong. Yeah, it was for their own. It was for their own time. It was Kylie Ray was in it, so I'm like, oh, Kylie Ray.
Yeah. Maybe for me. Also, I think I'm probably gonna have less free time than you during WrestleMania weekend.
I'm probably just gonna watch the GCW shows.
I think obviously Mania is the number 1 priority.
Yeah, obviously.
I always watch the Hall of Fame every year. I don't know if you do.
No,
but I love
the Hall of Fame. Is boring to me.
I enjoy the Hall of Fame.
I watched it last year for Heyman, but
then
in Nakano, but that was it.
After the WWE, I'm probably not gonna watch Stand and Deliver this year. I just don't watch NXT. I can't bring myself to care about NXT right now. So I think the next priority is Bloodsport, because I love Bloodsport, and then it is Spring Break because of the Sabu thing, and then I'll try to watch Big Gay Brunch if I can.
No clusterfuck.
I'll try to watch some other stuff if I can, but those are the priorities.
You will be free when the clusterfuck is on.
Well, but it's about you know what I mean. Like I'm not trying to watch all those live. Like if I have to watch Bloodsport, on demand while the clusterfuck is happening, I might not get to it, but that's kind of my priority. In other WWE news, Stephanie Vaquer becomes a double champ at NXT Roadblock. Thoughts on that decision?
I mean, they said that one of them was injured, so I'm like, whoever wins this match is not going to be the injured one. So it sucks, but
sucks that Julia's injured. Yeah,
it was a pretty good match from them. Wasn't their best.
Any other NXT Roadblock thoughts? Anything else you saw that you wanted to mention at all?
No, I think it was I only watched that match, so.
Okay. Other news, Cedric Alexander was announced for House of Glory Waging War on May 9th. He's starting to take some indie bookings in May. So I want to ask you, which indie guys would you like to see Cedric Alexander wrestle? I think up until a few weeks ago, I would have said Mike Bailey. As a kind of homer pick, I would like to see him wrestle Kenny Alfonso.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of one of our boys. But
Yeah, I'd agree. Somebody get on that.
Are there some other indie guys you'd want to see him lock up with?
Jordan Oliver.
That'd be incredible.
Maybe a Marcus Mathers. Maybe
Listen, I know you're not a huge fan of him.
Maybe a Mr. Danger.
No, you're not a huge fan of him, but I think Cedric and Blake Christian could have a good match.
Is Blake Christian an indie guy still? Because he's more of
Yeah.
a Ring of Honor guy.
I think he's indie enough. I think he takes enough indie bookings to still be considered an indie guy and a Ring of Honor
He
guy.
totally dropped that stupid gimmick though, which is really funny.
Yeah, he's Vanilla Baby now.
He tried to make a stupid gimmick, and then they realized that stupid video was way more over
Yeah.
than that stupid gimmick would ever be.
'Cause
So
if
he
you're
just dropped it.
If you're doing something stupid, it has to get over naturally. You can't force stupid. Stupid has to come naturally. Just trying to think of other Indian. I mean, if he goes over to the UK, a Michael Oku match. I think we always go right to Michael Oku, but that would be awesome. Trying to think of anybody else off the top of my head. Those were just some of the names I thought of. Anybody else for you?
No, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought harder how to name some names, but I really want to see.
I mean, obviously
I want to see an AW more. And I want.
He has some history with Mustafa Ali, so if that
too.
If that were to come together, that'd be fun. But yeah, I think we can see that. Tyler Breeze said that he wants to be back on TV wrestling, wherever that happens to be. Is there anyone more fitting to join the MXM Johnny TV stable than Tyler Breeze?
No.
Is there he is the perfect Tony needs to make that call and bring him in.
Yes.
That would be
he's the best manager they can get for him.
Manager, part-time wrestler, even. I mean, he can still go. He's not old. You know what I mean? And then here we have it was announced this week the Dark Side of the Ring topics for season 6. I'll read you the topic and the tag the log line for it, and tell me how interested you would be in watching this episode of television. So first we have Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell. From the first terrifying fall off the cage to the impact he still feels today, Mick Foley relives a wrestling match, Hell in a Cell 98, moment by moment. So I guess it's a move-by-move breakdown
6
for Mick Foley. Okay. Blood, Fire, and the Original Sheik. The Sheik, whose violent career spanned 50 years, is revealed by his family and the few who survived his hardcore bloodbath.
So a long episode with a lot of Sabu.
Tony Atlas, Too Much Too Soon. With the physique of an Adonis and endless charisma, Tony Atlas makes his mark as one of wrestling's first black stars. But racism, addiction, and ego keeps Mr. USA from the top.
If they talk about his after wrestling career, then yes.
Here's my thing. If he is on screen, it is a 10.
Oh, yeah, he's on
just
screen.
Just to see what outfit he's wearing. Just to see.
Hope he brings back the sleeveless
dress shirt and tie, dude.
He was talking about how his Pekka.
He was straight up the MVP of that Vince McMahon documentary. That was insane.
I hope we talk about the CM Punk story where he looks like he had 2 broken arms, and then after shows, some of you were an asshole. Mm-hmm. It's so dude, what a character Tony Atlas is.
Becoming Muhammad Hassan just 3 years post 9/11, Mark Kopani sees the highs and lows of wrestling when he's given the chance to portray Muhammad Hassan, a villainous Arab-American character for the WWE. Mid-tier.
Yeah.
It's one of those where, if a bunch of people online are like, this episode ruled, I might check it out.
I mean, I'll watch an episode probably, so I'm interested, but, this is probably I don't really care. The Foley one kind of sounds like not Dark Side of the Ring episode. Whereas,
it kind of sounds like they're experimenting with a different thing.
Yeah, where this sounds like just a regular one that's because they'll talk about how his career went up in flames because Vince didn't edit out a bit after a real terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Next, we got Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, skilled as a performer in the ring
10.
and as a booker who created storylines behind the scenes. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was a ticking time bomb of talent and self-destruction.
10.
Okay. Do you know much about his story?
Not a lot, but I
Neither
know
do
he
I,
was
but I don't know,
he was a
like-
very good wrestler. So
Yeah. Big Van Vader. With an iconic look and skills few of his size could match, Big Van Vader stood out as a wrestling monster, but controlling his anger became a bigger battle in and out of the ring.
a 9.
So it's about Vader's anger management, I guess.
I'll say a 9.
Anger management starring Big Van Vader and Jack Nicholson. The Scream Queen Daphne, with her piercing scream, Shannon Spruill, I hope I said that right, becomes a cult star as Daphne in the Squared Circle. Outside the ring, Daphne fights a much more punishing battle with bipolar disorder.
That's gonna be.
This was like some real
sad one.
This was like
That's
some
gonna
real dark side of the ring shit. Right here.
Suck.
It's probably going to be very well made, but it's going to be a hard watch.
I know how it ends.
Mhm.
That's the worst part. I know.
Mhm.
I was on Twitter for that. That sucked.
Yeah.
This episode's gonna suck. I'll give it a 10.
Yeah. The original superstar, Billy Graham, often imitated, never duplicated. Billy Graham breaks the mold for what a wrestler could be, but steroid abuse and battles with the McMahons keeps Graham
But
from the
just
spotlight.
pissy about how Hogan stole his whole bit. Yeah, okay. I'll like a 7.
Yeah, any episode that's just going to rail Hulk Hogan is an episode I'm in for. Ludwig Borga, Hellraiser
Ooh.
from Helsinki.
Ooh,
A
okay.
Finnish wrestling bad guy turned real-life racist politician, Tony Halmey's time in the WWF as Ludwig Borga is only the start of his chaotic and destructive life.
So he also killed himself. But he was also a legitimate fascist politician. So
I love that.
I'm honestly going to give it a 9.
Dark Side of the Ring, bringing us such sentences as, so he also killed himself. What other wrestling property is going to get us there?
XPW?
The last one here is Truth Lies and Billy Jack Haynes. An 80s wrestling star, Billy Jack Haynes' life of violence and mystery leads to his current situation behind bars and charged with the second-degree murder of his wife. I did not read this before.
Oh,
This kept getting crazier.
yeah. He definitely did that too.
He did that shit.
It's recent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give that one an 8 just because I don't really know about the story of him.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
I think
that's another one that's like, that's a Dark Side of the Ring episode.
The
right
Daphne one I'm looking most forward to, I know it's going to suck.
Mm-hmm. The Ludwig Borga one sounds
Ludwig Borga,
interesting.
dude, yeah, that's going to be good. Eddie Gilbert's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Billy Graham, just because they're gonna be so
shit on
anti-Hogan.
He's going to
Like,
shit on Hogan so hard.
It's gonna be so anti-Hogan you won't be able to believe it. Quick hits.
Sure.
All right. Karrion Kross walked the streets of Brussels looking for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't
The
think
time cop.
Don't think you're going to find him there.
Maybe.
Time cop too.
That is Time Cop. Jean-Claude Van Damme is Time Cop. Tony Khan's favorite movie. Sami Zayn dines with Kieran Culkin.
We both agreed it kind of felt like that it would be that.
Yeah, if you were like, hey, Kieran Culkin's friends with a WWE wrestler, I'd be like, oh, Sami Zayn? And it should be like, yeah, it just makes sense. Finally, I know a lot of people, when the John Cena heel turn happened, they were all, I saw this reaction from multiple people. I kind of thought about it myself. I was like, what does Carmelo Anthony think? Carmelo Anthony quoted as saying, I don't like how John Cena switched up. So for anyone wondering what Carmelo Anthony was thinking, what Knicks and Nuggets legend Carmelo Anthony was thinking.
I'm glad to know what he's thinking, and now I just think that John Cena is doing is unforgivable.
Yeah.
He's hurt Carmelo Anthony.
Exactly. So if anybody who was wondering what Carmelo Anthony's thoughts were.
I always think that
There you
mental
go.
thoughts are about anything.
Yeah. On to Dynamite from AEW. This started with a pretty whatever Kenny Omega promo, just kind of setting up that tournament. I don't know if there's anything else there. Just kind of wanted more from Kenny in that one. We got the Ops with a squash. Scale of 1 to 10, how cool is it that Hook has his own towel now?
Yeah.
A billion?
He's earned it.
Yeah. Hook earned his towel.
His father passed it down to him. It was like son, brother, you've earned
He
this.
should have. Well, I guess he has that great head of hair. But he should have one like Taz had, where he wears it over his head
He
instead of like
he should get the Taz haircut.
instead of what like Shibata and Joe have, where they wear it around their shoulders. Tag team action, we had Hologram and Hobbs with Harley Graham, one of my new favorite acts in AEW, versus Dralistico and Brian Cage. My note here is Tony Khan has discovered how fun lucha beef teams are.
Lucha beef.
Just put a big beefy guy on a team with a luchador, magic, every time. What are your thoughts on the Hologram Hobbs team we've been seeing recently? And Harley Graham, if you want to throw that in there.
It's a good team. However, it's not going to be the regular team. The regular team is going to be Hologram and Commander, which is also fine.
Yeah, definitely. And then one of my kind of favorite things about Dynamite, we had Megan Bayne just causing a ruckus. So Tony Storm cuts what was an incredible promo from Tony Storm, the orgy promo about the race for the women's title, really setting up her title reign for something new. This was a theme on Dynamite, just the reset. Getting Ospreay and Omega away from the Callis family, getting Tony away from Mariah. Like, this was kind of like Revolution's over. Some of these stories are going to continue, but there's some resetting happening here, and I kind of like that.
You didn't really need to reset Tony Storm's. If you really said the end
but
on
like,
it, but
anytime they're like, hey, we're going to put a mic in Tony Storm's hands, it's like, yeah, give her all of the show. Like, give her as much time as she needs. It's going to be great. But I love Megan Bayne just lays her out and just stands over her like a monster. And then later, Willow wrestles Penelope Ford, whatever match. But Megan Bayne gets involved there with Willow, Penelope, Stat, Rosa, just laying out everybody. Megan Bayne's a beast, man. She's incredible. Now, what are your thoughts on this pattern Tony Khan has of just pushing women that got over in Japan? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I mean,
just another one in that line.
But it's always the same thing. So
guess that's true. It is. A lot of women who got over in Japan over in WWE now. But yeah, this was great. How excited are you for a Megan Bayne Tony Storm program?
10. That's a solid 10.
Mm-hmm. I really would like, because Megan Bayne, the character, seems to take herself in AEW. I know there's the Joey Janela stuff, but in AEW takes herself very seriously. Like, she no real like big emotional facial expressions. No. She's just like, I am the best. I am a goddess of professional wrestling. That's all I need to be. And it's just kind of stoic, but also kind of show-offy with the whole Pegasus gear. And I'm really excited to see that versus the just incredible goofiness of Tony Storm. You know what I mean?
It's the whole old-timey actress. Look at me, I'm the...
Because it's all pomp and circumstance, but it's a very different kind of pomp and circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, in that, like Tony Storm is this starlet, this, what the character she's portraying is like this big figure, this celebrity, right? Like this out there, kind of like a tabloid personality, like, someone like that. And Megan Bayne is like DiCaprio, where there's so much aura there. There is the flashiness, but it's a calmer flashiness. It is a more controlled flashiness, more stoic flashiness. You know what I mean? So I really like that. And I've always said that Megan Bayne is the Leonardo DiCaprio. Megan DeBane. Meganardo DeBanio. So that makes sense. And this is a bit huge for you, me as well.
Honestly, yeah.
Mike Bailey debuts against the Beast Mortos.
Does kind of suck because if I go to AEW show now, I gotta maybe wait down there and be like, Mike, our tradition.
Yeah.
But obviously good for them. Can't hate on
Made
it.
it big time.
Great move.
Great
from
match.
AW. Great match. AW. Yeah.
But Mordos was a good.
Uh,
Mordos a great hand.
it kind of sucks that Morris is in that loser is that jobber to the stars
Mhm.
play style, but more TV time for Morris is always good.
Mm-hmm. It is good. It is good. I love Mordos. Anything else from Bailey?
It was a good match.
Yeah.
I turned it on. My roommate, who's not fully into wrestling, but will like watch it if it's on, and like get really into it if it's on. Like, hey, I know that guy. Like, yeah, like it pops the crowd.
Yeah, Bailey's awesome. Love Speedball. The MVP MJF promo.
I really like this.
This was awesome.
I also really like that they first met because of the Bad Brains, which is really weird. So like,
Also,
does MJF like
some
Bad
are
Brains?
saying that MJF on Wednesday was the orangest man to ever
He
live.
was so orange.
Yeah.
He was so orange.
Some spray tan gone awry with
You know how you
with
make fun of Adam
Maxwell.
Cole for being orange?
What'd you say?
You are making fun of Adam Cole being orange.
Yeah,
MJF is even oranger.
dude, MJF was
I don't know if it's a character thing, because if the character thing is great commitment to your character,
Mhm.
or else it was a shitty spray tan, but he was so orange.
Yeah. So anyway, MJF initially declines. MVP reoffers it, which is huge. That's not like something that he's gonna do. MJF takes the card. What would you think of MJF in the Hurt Syndicate?
Is he liable relating it to Owen Hart in the Nation?
Mm-hmm.
I do agree,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be better than that. Even though Owen's been a wrestler, obviously, the character
to
kind of fits
think
more
of a
in that Hurt
comp.
Syndicate, where he's like, he doesn't, but like he'll hide behind Bobby Lashley and Sheldon now.
Here's a comp though, for how I think this may play out. A couple years ago, the New York Jets. Bear with me there. The New York Jets. They had some stuff going on. They didn't really have a good quarterback, but they had promising young receivers. They had a promising young defense, right? Things were looking good. And then they brought a huge ego into the mix. And everything fell apart.
So you're
from
saying
there.
that MJF is washed and already and won't
No.
get any better? That's not time.
That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not the comparison I'm making. I'm not comparing where Aaron Rodgers is in his career to where MJF is in his career. I'm just comparing the huge egos. I'm sure there's other sports examples I could come up with where you have something good going. You bring in a guy, he's a huge ego, it falls apart. I think Kyrie Irving has done that 4 times. I think James Harden's done that a bunch of times.
At least 4.
You know what I
least,
mean?
You know,
That could be an example. Like Philly had something good going on, and then Harden went there, and it kind of all fell apart. Like
Jimmy Butler can't went there first.
yeah, so you know what I mean. That's where I think this would go. I think that the Hurt Syndicate works because they're a unit, and MVP would just be too much of an ego. Or MVP, sorry, MJF would be too much of an ego. I don't know. It would be interesting to see because it would definitely fall apart. That wouldn't be a long-term group, I don't think. Speaking of the reset I was talking about, Takeshita back in his winning ways after he attempts to murder Platinum Max Caster.
That
was a great squash.
I love this Max Caster.
Max
thing.
has found his place.
But also it kind of sucks. This is the only squash matches we've ever seen AW when they've needed a ton more.
We saw some other ones. Like we see other ones. Like the Ops had a squash match earlier on this show.
Yeah, but it feels like
It's just local talent squashes.
when they debut somebody.
Jade Cargill's whole career was squash
I guess
matches.
that's a good point. Yeah, but when they there's some matches that should have been more squashy. They haven't been. That's kind of been a long running complaint.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely, and see what's great about this for Max is that it's going to be really funny for him to get his ass kicked every week. But as time goes on, he's going to end up in the Kurt Hawkins place where he starts getting sympathy and people start pulling for Max and they want him to get the win and they want him to win like this is going to, if they continue with this long enough, it will naturally turn Max babyface.
It should and it will.
You know what I mean? Like this is really cool.
We think when they gave Kurt Hawkins the finisher and I went online with him and beat somebody with him and like Just
Where do you think Takeshita goes from here? I mean, and he's still
New
never
Japan.
he's still never open weight champion, so he does have some responsibilities to take care of in New Japan. So you think maybe just like a little back to not an excursion, but a little return to Japan for a little bit, and then maybe come back for something else closer to All In time. That would be fun. I could see that. Ospreay. Will Ospreay has announced himself as the first entrant in the Owen. I'm really excited for that. I think what would you say, with none of the rest of the field announced, what is the percentage chance that you think Ospreay wins the Owen? Because it seems obvious, but it also kind of seems too obvious.
65%.
65%? That would you go with? Okay. I like that. And then Orange Cassidy defeats Hechicero in the main event. Really fun main event. You didn't like it?
Wrong decision.
Oh, you thought Hechicero should have won?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that. We'll get to it in the lightning round later, but the 4-way that got set up for that is OC, Mark Davis, Ricochet, and Mike Bailey. And I think either Hechicero should have beat OC or Shibata should have beat Ricochet, because then you would have had 4 competitors from 4 different countries. The way it is now, you have 2 Americans, an Australian, and a Canadian. That way you would have had a Mexican or a Japanese man.
Yeah, but, Mr. Baldy has to move on. Duh.
Yeah, so it should have been Hechicero, you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy has, I guess we shouldn't be surprised anymore, but surprisingly great matches with technical guys. He's really good with the technical guy. I really like that. Really good mix of styles. Speaking of Ricochet beating Shibata, that's how we started Collision this week, or that's the first thing I wrote down from Collision this week. We also got Mark versus Mark. Mark Briscoe, Mark Davis. Davis won.
My favorite matchups.
Yep, love a Mark versus Mark. What do you think of those 2 matches?
Thought they were both pretty good.
Yeah, both pretty good Collision matches. The Murder Machines with the quote of the week. Brian Cage said, "Who dies?" Lance Archer said, "Everybody." Brian Cage said, "Who better?" Lance Archer said, "Nobody." Becoming one of my favorite tag teams. The Murder Machines.
Wait, you mean the Murder Machines are just going to co-op a Canyon bit? What the hell?
Yeah, Brian Cage has always done that. He's like the spiritual...
He's like if Canyon did roids.
He's the successor to Canyon. You know what I mean? Wrestling-wise. Like you know what I mean?
He's if Canyon was on steroids and straight.
Yep.
And made it everybody's problem on Twitter.
God, Brian Cage as Mortis. It would be awesome. He's definitely done some Mortis here before, hasn't he? Who was it that wasn't there a WrestleMania that we watched where there was a battle royal and somebody randomly had Mortis gear?
I think so.
Was it WrestleMania 30 in the Andre?
I think it was.
Wonder if I can Google this. Because it was somebody that we just never would have expected. Maybe instead of Mortis, I look up Chris Canyon. I don't know. Google is a wasteland. So it's hard to find. Was it? Oh, come on, Google. WrestleMania 30. Dang, I can't remember now. Dang. I don't know. Maybe I can go back to my notes and find it, but yeah, I can't find it now. We can just move on with the next thing. FTR versus Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Another great match.
Well, that was pretty good, yeah.
Another great match. So what do you think of this Daniel Garcia-Adam Cole rivalry? Where are we with this?
I think it's fine. I think Daniel Garcia was given the TNT title to re-sign, and they just did what to do with him after that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's been kind of a waste of a title reign.
I mean, they've been doing something with him. He's been on Collision like every week.
Well, yeah, true. But
it's been a good TV title reign. I just don't think it's been up to the standards of like an AEW.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the ones we've seen before this one have been better.
Yeah, like it's
So-
been good. It just hasn't been, Miro, Darby Allin,
Yeah.
Cody. Like it just hasn't been kind of the great TNT champions that we've seen. Even Jack Perry had a great run with it. On to WWE, we had SmackDown on Friday. Jade Cargill says she knew Naomi attacked her because she saw Naomi walk away. So Bianca, in all of her brilliant detective work, didn't talk to the victim a single time. Was just like, I'm going to figure this out without talking to Jade once.
You know what? No. I'll check everything but Jade.
Yeah, Bianca had to be in on it then.
Yeah, no, she had to have been.
Either this is a poorly written story or Bianca's in on it. Right? That's so dumb. If Bianca does not turn out to have been in on this, incredibly stupid.
Bianca is the worst detective of all time.
Yeah, Bianca Belair, worst detective of all time. Axiom versus Gunther.
Imagine what it's like when you give your top champion guys who can work and not yeet, yeet,
Yeah.
yeet, yeet.
How great is it, WWE, when you put two workers in the ring together, two wrestlers in the ring? How awesome is that? Speaking of two pretty good wrestlers, though, Street Profits won the tag titles, first time in like 6 years.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing hot potato with that belt, but well
Because I
deserved.
think the move is WrestleMania ladder match. I think it's going to be like DIY, Machine Guns, Profits, Pretty Deadly. Maybe they throw Los Garza and a sixth tag team in there, but definitely those four, right? Doesn't that feel like where we're heading for
Yeah.
Mania? So we'll see. I have a lot of notes on last night's Raw, though. Starting off with the way we kicked off the show with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. What'd you think of the Cena part of the promo first? His explanation for turning heel, his continuing, really trashing the Let's Go Cena people, really bringing that up and no, you guys suck too. Just because you're rooting for me doesn't mean that I like you. What'd you think of it?
I thought it could have been better.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I don't like that he said babyface and heel.
Yeah.
So that, not good.
I mean, it's like kayfabe is dead and all, but it's still exposing the business.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't like that. But I still think it was a good promo. I think it was a solid heel start. I think he'll get better as we go. Cody, which is one of his classic, just enraged promos. Incredible. I loved Brussels singing him to the ring. I love European crowds love to sing a theme song, dude. Well, really just foreign crowds, because remember in Australia, Copeland had that awesome Metalingus moment at Grand Slam.
And then they try to do it everywhere else, and it didn't do as well.
Yeah. Or last year, remember in France when they sang Orton to the ring?
I mean,
They sang
it's
Voices.
European.
Yeah, it's just these other crowds are
Yeah, the
great
international
at
is
it.
always so good, but
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was an incredible promo segment overall. Makes me pumped for their match. We'll get into that more later. A little tease for one of our later segments, but really excited for that. Kaiser versus Penta. Is this feud over yet?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. I think it's going to continue to Mania.
I don't
know. I've noticed that there's this pattern with how they use Ludwig Kaiser in that he'll have a feud where he just wrestles the same guy on TV one-on-one a bunch of times.
Do you think the way they use the game? Do you think he might find himself in the way of Vinci or Fabian Aichner, where he just supposed to be not used at all?
No, I think he'll continue to be used because he does have a lot of charisma, and also is he engaged or dating one of the top women stars in the company?
Yeah,
I think he's got a place kind of locked down as long as
that's
Tiffany's
fair.
the top.
That's fair.
It was a pretty whatever match. I'm just kind of tired of the Kaiser Penta thing. Io and Bianca's contract signing interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Signs the contract in a very non-legally binding way, and
Yeah,
Adam Pearce brought that up. It's
that
this doesn't count. You're not in the match, so she'll have to find another way into the match. I do love this story though of Io being an underdog champion because Bianca and Rhea are so at each other's throats that they're forgetting Io, and Io's getting pissed off that she's getting tossed to the side.
Like the 2004 triple threat with Benoit, Triple H, and Michaels, to me.
Yeah, but at least in that one's a little different because Triple H had the belt going in.
I guess that's fair.
This is the champion going in, being the underdog. But I see the comparison you're bringing here. That is a good comparison, and that was I mean, all things considered, separate the art from the artist. That was a pretty good storyline. I have watched every Raw from that build up and every pay-per-view, and that was a really good story. So I mean, how do they put Rhea in this? What would be your pitch to actually get Rhea into the match?
I don't know, because I don't know what he would do. It's pretty clear one-on-one match right now, but
it would have to be Bianca and Io both agree to it.
Yeah, which they wouldn't do.
Which they shouldn't do. But there's always that thing. There's always that thing where wrestlers get pissed off. Because, I mean, wrestlers, as characters, have to be inherently competitive, right? So they get pissed off and competitive, and they're like, yeah, throw her in the match. I want to get my hands on her.
Do you remember when, I'm sure you don't, but in TNA, it was the Nature Boy Ric Flair and somebody else, and Nature Boy was going, you want it, you're on, and I want to see if we control the company. Like, you shouldn't have said that. He very clearly just said it as like a line.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something like that. This does kind of give me horrible flashbacks to the Becky Charlotte Ronda match where they shoehorned Charlotte into that match in like a very odd and confusing way. But this seems like they're going to get there in a less confusing way. Like I said, like you just have to remember that these are characters that are competitive by nature.
Yeah.
So they might just want to throw hands with Rhea and get her in there. I've been loving Jey Uso's feud with the guy he's facing at WrestleMania, Austin Theory. Oh, wait, actually. Oh, I'm getting a note from our producers. He's actually facing Gunther at WrestleMania.
You would think he's facing Austin Theory.
So that's
squashed Austin Theory this week.
My mistake, because he's done more feuding with A-Town Down Under than with Gunther. So I just got that mixed up. Sorry about that. Yeet on and whatnot. The Creeds versus LWO was really fun. I wish the Creeds were in a company that takes tag team wrestling seriously. Like, could you imagine these fuckers in the World Tag League?
No.
Dude, could Julius and Brutus Creed in the World Tag League?
That'd be so good. That'd be such a good like team there.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be so good.
And then Grande Americano, the new luchador on the scene, attacks Rey Mysterio after the match.
Large American.
Who is this mystery American luchador?
I don't know.
Because it can't be Chad Gable because we saw them both in the same place.
Yeah, no. Chad Gable disappeared, and also he showed up and didn't do the same place.
Is the Patriot back from the dead?
Well, I know, yeah, because that one company said they was, so yeah.
Could this be the son of Mr. America?
It's Del Wilkes Jr.
Oh, be interesting. It'd be crazy if this one turned out to be Hulk Hogan also. And Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor was a very, very good match until the Judgment Day interference at the end. But, I think they're doing something. Like, do you think we get, like, Finn versus Dominic at Mania or something?
Yeah,
or maybe a little down the road from Mania?
I can see that at Mania.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it from Raw. Anything else from this week, TV-wise? Or do you want to get into...
That's all I got.
We want to get some more. All right. One second. I got to get something pulled up here. Okay. We are going to do some predictions now, a little outside of our box predictions. But we're going to do this week FSW. Do you remember what that stands for? Do you know?
Future Stars of Wrestling, I think.
Future Stars of Wrestling. They are doing a benefit show for Chris Bay to raise money and help Chris Bay, who, of course, horrific injury last year at a TNA taping, has, been in recovery since. I know about a month ago there was a video of him walking for the first, or standing up for the first time.
He's walking though.
He's walking. Like, yeah, it's good to see. Let me just check right now. Yeah, it is Future Stars of Wrestling. So we got 5 matches announced for this card. Many more people announced than matches, but than who are currently in the matches. But this is all we have right now. So we'll just go through, throw down our predictions. Of course, we'll put our confidence points on here. So we have 5. 5 is the max that you can put on it. First, we have a scramble match: TJP versus Frankie Kazarian versus Gregory Sharp versus Danny Limelight versus Ice Williams. Who you got with?
I'm gonna go with a 2 with Ice Williams.
Two with Ice.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that cold brew, baby.
Cold brew, that's true. Ice Williams and Cappuccino Jones, that tag team I want to put together. I went with TJP for 2 points. I feel like it's probably going to be TJP or Kazarian, but I like Ice Williams as an outside pick. Next, we have Brian Cage versus Rich Swann. Rich Swann, a man who has been in the Hot Dog and Handshake zeitgeist recently, as he's part of the Cruiserweight Classic that we've been.
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
That we've been reviewing.
I'm going to say Brian Cage.
You need Cage?
3.
I went with Cage for 1. Hammerstone versus Karrion Kross in your certified sirloin beefsteak match of the night.
Karrion Kross.
How many points?
1.
1. I went Kross for 3. Next, we have John Morrison versus Leo Rush versus Ace Austin. Who you got?
Ace Austin for 5.
Yeah, it's got to be Ace. I went with Ace for 4. Because next we have Swerve Strickland versus Kenny King. Who you got? This is going to be your 4-point pick here. Swerve. I went Swerve for 5. So we kind of switched those last 2. But I imagine they'll both win, and we'll get it. Just a fun one to throw out there. Next up, we got our New Japan Cup date. Finlay versus Shingo in the final. As far as our prediction score goes right now, I am up 35-29. So I'm up by 6.
Oh, Shota in the final.
Did I say? Oh, yeah, it is Shota. I wrote Shingo, but I meant to say Shota. I meant to write Shota. Finlay versus Shota.
I do not like Shota right now.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't like Shota right now. Let me make sure that I put that right on the brackets, that it was Shota. Yeah, no, I did it right on our actual brackets. I just wrote the wrong thing in the notes. Okay, so Finlay versus Shota. I'm up 35-29, but if you picked the correct winner of the bracket, you get 10 points. My winner was Shingo. He's out. Your winner was David Finlay. So if David Finlay wins, you win this prediction.
Kind of slamming to win the prediction. So GG.
But if Shota Umino wins, I'll win. So I guess I have to root for Shota Umino.
I'm so sorry, dude. That must suck.
I'm really just rooting for a good match.
He made himself bald, and it made him less interesting.
Yeah, not often that happens, does it?
No.
Going bald and getting less interesting, at least in wrestling. Next, we have the WrestleMania Scott Steiner Big Poppa Pump check. So, I am going to ask. We're going to talk about the Mania matches that have been confirmed, the Mania matches that seem to be happening, and we have a kind of 3-tiered scale here. We have no pump, which means you're just not into it at all right now. And think about this based on storyline and just how excited you are. It could be just based on the 2 people in the match together, right? But based on storyline and all that, take all that in consideration. No pump, sort of pump, which is like, yeah, maybe I'm getting there. Maybe I see some potential, but they got to do something to get me all the way there before we get there. And Big Poppa pumped, which is I am fully in. I am so excited for this. So we will start with we'll start the men's world title matches. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Where are you on the pump scale?
Not pumped at all.
Not pumped at all. That is where I am. No pump. I don't think anything could really get me excited from this based on the way they're doing it.
This is a Big Hollow Pump's kid Rex Steiner from Jacksonville State. Pumped. That's a pumped I am for that.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
I am big Poppa pumped.
I am big Papa pumped for Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Absolutely, I'm in. That promo, if I wasn't, even if I wasn't big Papa pumped after the turn, I was after the promo this week. Like, that was incredible. As far as the women's matches go, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
I'm not really pumped.
No pump. No pump for me. Absolutely not. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley.
I'm kind of pumped.
I would say I'm sort of pumped, but leaning big Papa pump. Like, it's going to be very easy for them to push me into a big Papa pump here. Other matches that feel like they're happening. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. I'm big Papa pump.
I'm pumped for that. Yeah.
What else seems like it's happening? Logan Paul versus AJ Styles.
Not pumped.
No pump. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. No, that was announced. Was that announced for something else already? Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Or did I read something wrong? Just trying to see if they announced that for. No, I'm not seeing it. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. What are your thoughts on? Or are you full pump?
Kind of pumped.
Kind of pumped. Kind of pumped. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm no pumped, but they could get me sort of pumped. I think they could pull me out of this one. Whatever's going on with the WWE tag titles, whatever multi-tag team thing we get there.
Mostly pumped.
I would say, yeah, I like that. I would say I'm mostly pumped. I kind of got to see it come to fruition and then decide.
WWE pick up big Papa pump for that.
Yeah. Let's see, anything else? Like, they teased Penta versus Braun Breaker this week. If that happens, where would you be?
Kind of pumped. Yeah.
Kind of pumped. What about Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio? If this is where this is going,
Kind of pumped.
I think I would. Maybe I'm biased because I love Rey Mysterio. He's my favorite of all time. But I think I'd be big Papa pumped for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Any other projected matches that I missed?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. All right, tape up the light tubes. Take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW Corner.
Gonna be a little bit real. I did not get to watch all of the shows from this last weekend.
So that happens.
But they were in Atlantic City. They had 2 shows this weekend. It was some good stuff. A loser. Some more stuff was announced for. Well, let's start with it. The first big one is that they'll be having a WID championship little thing during the Collective. Will be the first event. Really weird that this is happening. I'll be honest. Why is WWE having a thing at GCW? That scares me. Mm-hmm. My promotion might be dying.
Yep.
But
So what stage of grief are you at with that?
I'd say the first. I'm say about denial.
Okay.
Some big ones. Dr. Redacted defeated Hoodfoot for a spot in the Tournament of Survival in June. Not in KC. Begrudgingly.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Murdoch and Mr. Danger. Mr. Danger proved himself into the TOS.
Mm-hmm.
With Nick Mondo like style at Ash. It's so much fun. Matt Tremont retained the title against Beast Man. Just
like that.
A name there.
Beast Man.
Zeta Steel was booked. Marsha Sandwich defended her title against Matthew Justice. Garbage Day defeated their title. Perro defeated Richard Holiday in an 8-second match.
Richard Holiday lost in 8 seconds?
Yes.
Oh, that sucks. Who did he lose to?
Perro.
I don't know who that is.
They were in a little group together for a while.
Oh, okay.
But the big thing here, the big thing is that a loser leaves GCW match was booked for spring break. Atticus Cogar, Fuego del Sol.
Yes. Thoughts?
I have no clue who's gonna win. No clue who's gonna lose. It's really a crapshoot right now.
I think Kogar wins.
I would have to agree with you just because of how Fuego has left the AEW too.
Because, and here's my thing, Kogar could win, and Fuego del Sol could come back unmasked as a different guy. Or with a different mask as a different guy. You know what I mean?
Fuego del Sol 2 could show up for a little bit. Now that they're working
oh my God, I found it. It was Brodus Clay that wore the Mortis gear at WrestleMania 30.
Oh my God.
No wonder we forgot about
his
him.
Mother.
It's the most forgettable wrestler of all time.
And then Los Desperados, Erez, Gringo Loco, and Jack Cartwheel.
One of my favorite teams going, especially on the Indies.
Dr. Wagner Jr.
Cool.
Guillermo Del Mal.
Don't know who that is.
And El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. The father and his two sons.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, that's Iho's brother.
Guillermo Del Mal, yeah, is Iho's brother.
Okay.
And at that, Megan Bain and Bozilla, a Marigold versus GCW affair, AW affair. And Sabu Joe Janela sure does feel like it's going to be a barbed wire match.
Mm-hmm. And it feels like it's going to be a banger.
Old man Sabu taking 0 bumps. Gonna rule. It's gonna rule. Going immediately home. Maybe if he no shows, it's gonna be so
funny. Who would you, if you were, in charge of spring break, who would you have on standby to wrestle Janela if Sabu no shows?
RVD.
That would be the funniest option, I think.
Bill Alfonso.
That'd be great. Bill Alfonso. Hey, Kid Cash is taking bookings. Just any ECW guy.
Yeah, any ECW guy.
Yeah. Jason Knight.
Jinsei Sasaki. Jason Knight would be good though.
Yeah. All right. Who? Anything else from GCW?
That's all I got for right now.
All right. On to our favorite things of the week. This, of course, is where I hand out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dogs. Shane hands out the gold, silver, and bronze handshakes. Shane, as always, will start with the bronze handshake. Who's number 3 for you this week?
I'm going to go with Tony Storm.
Okay. That was a great promo. I went with Tony Storm plus the Megan Bain attack. So I'll throw Megan Bain in on yours, too, just to give her props. Yeah, Tony Storm, Megan Bain, that was my bronze. What was the silver handshake?
I'm going to go with Gunther versus Axiom.
I also went with a match involving some European talent here. I went with Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ryohei Oiwa from the New Japan Cup. That was a very good match. Also, Drilla Maloney versus Tomohiro Ishii was really good, but that was technically from last week.
Yeah.
So that was me and Ketchup watching that, but that was a very good match, just to shout that out. And the gold handshake this week.
Willow Nightingale versus BU Watanabe.
Nice. Watanabe. All right. Close enough. I did a Cena Cody promo. I think that was my favorite thing this week. I really, really enjoyed that. So that'll be mine. A couple promos in a match for me this week, but, just wasn't a hitter week as, some weeks are better. Lightning round. These are the matches we're going to see this week. Shane will give me on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited he is to see this match. From Dynamite, Megan Bain versus Chris Statlander.
10.
10, absolutely.
10.
Certified sirloin beefsteak match. That is.
Maybe not sirloin beefsteak. Maybe it's more like a, because smaller, of course.
Classier than that. It's a filet mignon beefsteak match.
Yes.
Megan Bain is too classy to be a certified
Kong and Bull Nakano. That's your certified sirloin beefsteak right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is a leaner meat.
Yeah, this is a leaner meat. It's more muscle.
Orange Cassidy versus Mark Davis versus Ricochet versus Mike Bailey for number 1 contendership to the AEW International title.
It's also a 10, dude.
Who do you want to win? Who do you think will win?
Brass Monkey.
That funky monkey. Dude, Tony Khan, pay the men. Pay the Beastie Boys and get that song. I know that they're sometimes hard to get licensing from, but pay them.
It makes too much sense.
So you think he will win?
I think he will win. I think he should win, yeah.
I kind of want Ricochet to win just because I would like for Kenny Omega to interact with this version of Ricochet. I just think that'd be funny TV. Yeah. But I think Bailey will win. I think they're pushing Bailey a little bit.
Yeah, I think. Plus, Omega Bailey's a dream match.
Yeah. That would be. John Moxley versus Adam Copeland street fight for the AEW
0.
title.
No interest at all.
Really?
I have none.
I'd give it like a 4.
Because if it's what I think it is, it's just gonna be the bloodline match, and I don't want that.
That's true. John Moxley taking a page from his Shield brethren.
Yeah, but worse.
Yeah, and also to beat up Adam Copeland. This is the second time he's had to go through this shit. SmackDown, we got Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven. That'll be a fun 5 minutes.
Yeah. They'll give it a 6.
They'll only give him 5 minutes on the 3-hour show, but it'll be fun.
I'll give him 6, yeah.
Liv Morgan versus Jade Cargill.
I'll give it a 3.
I like that Liv Morgan is mad that Jade let Liv and Raquel be the scapegoats for that instead of just coming out and saying it was Naomi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 3.
Mm-hmm. Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman rematch from Saturday night's main event.
10. No, yeah.
I mean, talk about certified sirloin beef.
I'll
steak
give it a
match.
10. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Collision is split over Saturday and Sunday this week. Because of basketball, because of college basketball. Is it going to be 2 hours each night, you think, or is it an hour each?
Nah, probably an hour each.
Okay. On the Saturday show, we got Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole for the TNT title.
I'll give it a 7.
I'm going to be straight. And this might be extreme bias because I grew up loving Adam Cole. I kind of think he should win. Because I think Garcia is much better as a chaser than he is as a champion. So he chases Cole, he wins the title back at like double or nothing, and then maybe you kind of get a reset and you get a do-over on this Daniel Garcia title reign. That's just my thought. Let Cole have the TNT title on his resume. Officially, he will officially been a singles champion in AEW, or a champion at all. I guess technically he hasn't won. The only title he's won since he went there is the Ring of Honor tag titles. So I don't know. I just think Adam Cole should win, but it also just might be biased because I love Adam Cole. Sunday, little lucha tag here, Hologram and Commander versus Drilistico and Beast Mortos. I mean, that's at least a solid 8 from me.
Yeah, I'll give it a... Yeah, I'll give it an 8 too.
On Raw, we have Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Intercontinental title. Out of 10 for that one.
I'll give it a 7.
And then A-Town Down Under versus Jey Uso and a mystery partner.
0.
Who do you think the mystery partner is going to be?
Jimmy Uso.
Who do you want it to be?
Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
No. I want it to be Lance Noah.
I think it's going to, because it's in Glasgow, I think it's going to be Joe Hendry.
Oh, yeah.
But I want it to be Gunther. That would be really interesting.
Yeetspan, watch me, watch.
Yeah.
You're not watching.
Yeah. That'd be a good way to heat up the feud, I think.
Yeah. I don't really like coexist tag teams, but that's different. It's not coexist. It is Gunther trying to
It's a lesson.
teach. It is a lecture in professional wrestling.
It is. Oh, who had the teacher gimmick in the 90s?
Dean Douglas.
Dean Douglas. It's Gunther's Dean Douglas moment.
Who's the legacy use.
Yeah. Match recommendation of the week. We're going to see John Moxley in a street fight this week, so I'll throw you back to my personal favorite.
They can all kiss my yeet oos.
From a personal entertainment standpoint, my favorite Moxley hardcore style match. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in the Ambrose Asylum match from Extreme Rules 2016. This was just a really fun, just goofy hardcore match in a cage. There's thumbtacks involved. It does get sort of hardcore, especially for WWE standards. And then one of my favorite parts of this is on the Raw after this, Chris Jericho cut a promo about how because of Ambrose, he had to get 69 thumbtacks removed from his back. Which I thought was really funny as a kid, and I've quoted ever since. I'll talk about that all the time with my family that I watch that with. If you want more of us, we got some classic reviews. We did the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic. That is out. And then coming out on Friday will be round 2 through the finals, the rest of the tournament of the Cruiserweight Classic. It was a really fun rewatch. Yeah, so it was a great time. Really love doing the Cruiserweight Classic. Those are our that's what's coming up. We also have other classic reviews: WWE, WCW, ECW, New Japan. We did All In. We've done other various promotions, so go check those out. We're kind of on the march to WrestleMania. Dynasty's coming up. New Japan Windy City Riot's coming up, so it's a great time right now. Just make sure to enjoy wrestling. That was like